The international community. The international community is the social base that regulates the international legal order and regulates the social system. The term international community refers to the disorganized structure of the international system. Article 53 Vienna Convention Declaration of the Principles of the International Law. Dimensions of the concept of international community: descriptive dimension, prospective dimension, normative dimension, constitutive dimensions, and the members of the international community maintains relationships of cooperation and coexistence and have values and interests common to the states and generals of every community. Historical forms and evolution of the international community. Its origin proposes the existence of territorial-based human collectivities that are political, independent of each other, and that maintain relationships between them. Its precedents are in the 9th century, in which a plurality of independent political entities exceeding off the shores of the Mediterranean Sea with different cultures, religions, and civilizations that were related to reflect their interests. Distinctions of the evolution of the international community. The European system of states. The system of the states of Christian civilization. The Society of Civilized States. The International World Society. The European system of states. The origin of the international community lies in the disintegration of Christian Republic and Middle Age as consequence of the merging of Europe, the 15th and 16th centuries of the sovereign nation states. The obligation to respect the territorial limits of the states. I have the principle of jurisdiction of the states, the principle of sovereign equality, the principle of non-intervention in the internal affairs of other states. The European system of states aspired to establish as the system of guarantee and maintenance of the status quo through a policy of balance of power based on territorial sovereignty, respect to the traits, relations of sovereigns, representative, the possibility of resource to the war by the victim state, and the limitation of the law of war, suggesting to use case. The Westphalia Treaties represent a fundamental step in the formation of European public law that regulates relations between European states that have been the basis of classical international law.
Now we're going to talk about the civilized states' six desires. The system of state expands. The international community was admitted in the Near and Far East. Though the extension of the territory, the colonies of the Western states were included, as for example, Africa. The incorporation of non-Christian states gave rise to society of civilized states. According to the von List classification, civilization, semi-civilization, and no-civilized states. The admission of non-Christian states implies the obligation of offset the standard of civilization relation with these states were equal. The global international society. Between the First and Second World Wars, the state systems was expanded and evolved into a global international society characterized by the current international community is of progressive universalization states following the creation of new states. The current community is no longer exclusively European, Western, and Christian. Independence has increased as consequence of globalization and technologies. The nature of the international community. The current international community is the result of a long historical process influenced by its members, the degrees of sociability, the recognition of common values and interests of states and the community, as well as this anarchic character. The international community at states at its primary members and is made up of governmental and non-governmental members, as well as transnational corporations. The international community is decentralized. The structure of international community divided into three dimensions. In a relational structure is the unity of states in an international decentralized system where states coexist by a principle of sovereignty. And institutional structures. It is the result of the common interests of the states. Appearance, the creation of the United Nations and these specialized agents, and community structures. It is created that though the verb identification and protection of the values and general interests of the international community.
Will reckon almost at home stem the source of international law system in distinction had been format a material source. It is essence at that format conferred on the rules a mandatory shade with a later compromise the actual content of rules that edifies the lat quite the sur incorporate essence proper the regulation. In the hell states with of codific and server in las instances what can be case and out of historia legalism. The ground with contemporary legal system in international law is dynamic, source of the rigid and life of the natural of international system. The existence of customary rules can be deduced from practice. The question reflects the characteristics of the decentralization internationalization system. It is democratic, is all states the essence of the question according to Article 38. It that it must constitution and every of general practice except as law. Therefore, it is possible to detect two basic elements in the composition of question. Is a material fact that is the actual barbar states and the psychal subject value sub is law. Article 63 of the Convention, the law of trade. Trade will voice if and time if conclusion is conflict what a purport known of general international law is rule use cohen will be they have apple and contents of usual rules so derogation be all rules be local special question while international law commission be far the most important vote of statute and therefore for the law. There are or void there are involved in some mission the unique National Commission of International Trade Law and the unique National Conference of Trade and Dealers. For example, they are more active field of economic finance and develop active wide temporary bodies of the commit and the principal international law. Equity and international law in adiós de of municipio procedente and instituto legal system de straight international law. It is possible de someter a number of en reference a general principle of the law in a legal system a situation might very well and when a court considering a case of your reality is law cover exactly a point ref parliament statute no procedente judicial instead the youth proceeding
International law and internal law. According to the theories of law, each state is sovereign and skilled, but why that phenomenal ground in combination and constitutions and with that constant reminder of global rivalries, not even the most powerful of states can be totally sovereign. International law before municipal courts. United Kingdom. The doctrine of incorporation means that international law is part of domestic legislation automatically and without the net for that filing of the Constitution ratification procedure. United States. The position currently accepted is customary international law in the United States. It is federal law and its determination by federal courts is the binding on state courts. In the United States, by contrast, Article 6, Section 2 of the Constitution states that all treaties concluded or be concluded with the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the country at the judgment of each state shall be bound to observe that nothing in the Constitution or the law of any state to the contrary nor neither. Other countries. In the other countries where English common law has been adopted, municipal law are presumed not to be incompatible with the norms of international law, but in case of conflict, the formalities take precedence. Justiciability act of doctrine and related state. A question is justifiable basically if it can be judged according to the law. It will therefore be interest that matters with the competence of the executive branch of government are not justifiable before the courts. Of important aspect of justiciability is the doctrine on the act of state and act of state generally referring to the activities of the executive in the relation with other states, but in the concept of international law and municipal courts referring in particular to the doctrines that no state can exercise jurisdiction over another state. The concept of no justiciability applies with respect to both national and foreign executed at interference cause the courts presumed to rule on exercise of sovereign power such as marking war and peace, subject international treaties on the cession of territories.